Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I have a fun fold. It's called a Gatefold fun fold, and it has a belly band that keeps it closed. And then it has this really cute little fun fold here that's the, Gatefold style. And so we're going to be using the beautiful new bundle that's in the annual catalog, the Prized Peony Bundle, and it has wonderful dies in it. So these dies here not only cut out these beautiful images here in the leaves, and they have this border scallop one with an embossed edge, but it also cuts out a 3D peony. Now I say peony, some people say peony. I'm not sure exactly what is the right pronunciation. So if I say peony and you're thinking, Cindy, it's peony, it's peony. I have been hearing it both ways, but when I was growing up, my mom always called them peonies, so I called them peonies. And I just knew that she always said that don't bring them in before they've opened up because there's ants in them, and ants kind of help them open up. So I don't know if that was just something she told me or if that is really, the way it goes. But so anyhow, we're going to make one of these peonies, and I'm going to show you how super easy it is. Because when you first get that die set, there's so many dies, you're thinking, what do I do with all of these? But these 4 simple dies put together a flower just like that. So we're going to do that in a second, but first let's just look at that fold, okay? I'm going to take off that belly band and I'm going to sit it aside. We're going to be using this beautiful, beautiful peony garden paper that is in that suite, and it has beautiful images in here using gray granite and petal pink. So really pretty. Look at all those grays and the pinks here. Oh, and then another pink there. So really beautiful colors. I love those together. So we're going to be using those, and I'm going to use some of the elegant faceted gems that has the petal pink and some of the white and like a clear there. And I'm going to use one of these vellum squares. So these are the square vellum doilies, and there's 24 of those in a pack for $5. Really great deal. So we're going to sit that aside as well. And we're just going to, oh gosh, we got a big mess on our stamping mat there. I guess that's why we have the mat there. So we're going to fold our gatefold. So all the measurements, all the products, all the colors I use will be on the blog post for this card. Just go to my blog. Right after the YouTube description at the end, it says visit my blog. Just press that link and you'll get additional photos and written down measurements. You can also find those underneath the description of the YouTube videos. I have links to my store if you're interested in any of the products there. You can shop 24/7, and I have listed there the measurements as well. So let's just get out our handy dandy Stampin' trimmer. Oh, I've just got to do some house cleaning here, kids. Okay, so we're going to use a piece of gray granite. And this piece of gray granite is a little bit different size than we usually do. It is 5.5 by 11. So we're 5.5 this way and 11 inches this way. But we're going to use that piece that we cut off of our 8.5 by 11 to do our belly band. So it's not going to go to waste. So we're going to take that 11-inch side. I'm going to put this aside here a second. We're going to put that 11-inch side into our trimmer, and we're going to put our cutting blade up at the top so that we don't get confused there, and then bring up the lighter gray, which is our scoring blade, and we're going to score this at 1 1/4. So 1 1/4, just get that there at 1 1/4, and score. Then we're going to go to 3 3/8, right before the 4. Right before the 3 4/8 is the 3 3/8, right there before 3.5. So we're going to score there, and then we're going to use our arm here that we can pull out, which I love on my trimmer, and we are going to score it at 7 5/8. So we're going to go right past the 7.5 to the next 8th there. So 7 5/8. And then we're going to go to 9 3/4. So 9 3/4. Now, you could have also, to be easy, you could have gone 1 1/4, 3 3/8, flipped your paper over 1 3/4, 3 3/8. Sometimes I will do that, but I just wanted to show you how you can actually use this arm that pulls out there. Okay, so now we have our score lines there, and it's going to go this way. And where is my bone folder? Ha, I know, I had it downstairs. My daughter was studying down in the kitchen, and she said, bring all your stuff down here. And I said, oh my gosh, then I'd have to mess up yet another room in the house. So I know my bone folder's down there. But that's going to be our gatefold here. And this was 1 1/4, so that means our designer paper is going to be 1 inch here. And then this one here is 2 inches. Yes, no. It is 2. It's 2 1/4. So it's 2 1/4 here. So I brought down our designer paper to 1 7/8 so that I had a 1/8 inch border around there. So these are the 2 pieces of designer paper I decided to use. I used this solid, got so many pieces here. I used this solid petal pink here, and I'm going to put that on these 2 front ones here. So I'm going to get out my Stampin' Seal, which I'm still getting the hang of it. There we go. And I just had to get that out there a little bit. Still practicing. And then just a nice, I actually find that I use less pressure than I did with my snail. And so then I'm just going to get a nice 1/8 inch border around that front fold there. And you can see that beautiful gray granite. It just sets off that pretty, oh, look at that. That is really crooked, Cindy. Okay. Let me bring that up there and get that straight. There, we're straight. Okay, then we're going to turn over our other one and get our Stampin' Seal on there. And like I said, I find that I'm just like, if I don't press as hard on that one as I did on my snail, I'm getting a lot better results. Then I just want to get a nice 1/8 inch border around there, and you can see how this is coming together. And then I have this portion here, and like I said, it was 2 1/4, so I brought it in 1/8 of an inch on each side, and that made it 5 1/4 for the tallness, and then it brought it down to 1 7/8. And I decided this is actually the back side of the petal pink flowers there, but I'm going to put this so we have a little contrast of the gray there. But you can see this really would kind of look cool to do it like this too, to have the 2. I like that. But I want to use the other piece. Oh, it's so hard because I actually like both of them this time. Okay, so I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal on there and there. Kind of hard to see, but it is there. And then we're going to, now I find because you're really going to see this folded edge here on the outside, so I'm going to really make sure I've got that straight. Okay, there we go. The gray, and then the pink looks really pretty against that. And then I'm going to put on my, there we go. Okay, and I'm going to do that again so that I have a better visual there. And put on that gray granite DSP there. Okay, so now you can see that nice contrast here of this geometric design and the petal pink flowers. So there is the outside of the card. Let's just go ahead and look at the inside. There are some beautiful sentiments in this stamp set. On this first card, I used the Love and Thanks to a Dear Friend. And I want to show you, I'm going to do a different sentiment on here, but I want to show you that this is the new punch in the holiday catalog. It's a banner punch here. And it's like that, the Lovely Labels punch, but it actually is called, I just got my new holiday calendar, catalog, but I'm just right now thinking, what is that banner called? It is called Banners Pick a Punch. So the Banners Pick a Punch. So I'm going to show you, it works just the same as the Lovely Labels Pick a Punch that's now in the annual catalog. You just go ahead and measure your sentiment. And when I measured this one, the Love and Thanks one, okay, let's just say, where is it? here it is, it's on my block. I measured it and I found it to be, I wanted a little bit of edge on each side of my sentiment. So once I measured the sentiment, gave myself a little clearance, then I added 1/4 inch. So don't just measure this sentiment and add a 1/4 inch because you'll be real tight. So I gave myself about a 1/4 inch, like what I wanted the sentiment, the space around the sentiment. Once you know how wide you want it, then just add a 1/4 inch. And so I found that to be, it was about 2 inches, and I added a little bit on each side. That gave me 2.5. And then I know I put this to 2 3/4. And then you just pop that into your banner. Open up your thing. And then look at the other side, just like we did with the other one. Make sure that it's even. And then do the same. Look, a nice banner there. And then I'm just going to show you how the other one works there, so we can see both designs there. Okay, Cindy, get it in there. Okay, 3/4. All right, and then if you have to, you just line it up so that it's straight. There we go. So you can see that now we can make a banner that has the pennant end, which I didn't do very straight, and we can also do this type of an end. So that's a new one coming out in the holiday catalog. But we're going to be doing our sentiment on the inside of this card. And what I did for this card is I cut a 4 inch by 5 1/4, and then that gave me 1/8 of an inch the whole way around. So that just like kind of a general rule that I use when I'm putting that in there. So what I did on this card, though, is I said, "So sorry for your loss," and had the flowers here, and "My thoughts are with you." Now, I had this, and I also did another one, and I'm going to see here. So then I thought, I kind of wanted to add a little more color in there, so I did this one. So I'm kind of on the fence which one I like. So that's what you guys got to comment. Would you put 2 flowers or would you put 1 flower? I'm actually, I think I might just do the 1. It does have some extra color, but we'll see. What the heck, let's just put that with a 1. So then I'm just going to put a little bit of the adhesive in the corners. Here we go. I'm doing it on the edge of the, okay, little on this corner, little right on this corner. Okay, and then I'm going to put that in the middle of the card. Get myself a good eyeball there of 1/8 of an inch on the bottom and the left and right, and then the top. And then we've got the inside of the card. Now to the really fun part. Okay, so we're going to build up this flower. So as I said, you're just going to die cut out. I'm going to pull this out. This is something I have over on my craft table here. You're going to pull out these 4 pieces, and you're just going to run them through your Big Shot or your whatever cutting tool you have right now. We will be getting that new die cutting machine coming out for demonstrators in August and September for the general public. So that's awesome. So we're going to cut out 4 of these. Now I cut out these 4 flowers, and then I cut out my leaves. I did the bigger leaves in Pear Pizzazz, and then I did the outline that gives like a kind of a detail on there. I did that with Soft Seafoam because I like the lights greens with that. And I decided to take my flower, instead of making it petal pink on this one with some sponged petal pink ink, I decided to do white. So we're going to see what that's going to look like here. So here are my 4 pieces. Okay, so this is the biggest one, then the next one, and then these 2. Now, you'll know that the way that they go, because they all, like you want to line up, they all line up at these edges. As you can see, it has the same little wave here, and the wave here. And that's how easy it is to put together. Just to give it a little dimension, I ran my white peonies through the subtle embossing folder after I cut them. Okay, so when you put them into your embossing folder, though, make sure that they're all sitting the right way. And like I said, the way to know that is if you've die cut them and set them aside before you put them into your embossing folder, make sure that they're all have that little design going the same way. Okay, so then this is how we're going to put it together. I used a little bit of Tombow glue. And I put it together, the smallest one into the next smallest, and then into this one, and then into the biggest. So what you're going to do is take this one here, and you see this is the bottom here, and these two are going to line up. So this slides into this open area that the die cut for you. So this is going to go into here. And you'll see on the back, it is going to match up with that little wavy part. So once you know your little wavy part is going to be there, you can put a little bit of Tombow glue on there. You can use a glue dot if you'd like, or you could use, I'm going to grab a little piece of scratch here, paper, and just get a little of that extra glue off of there. And then you could use a glue dot, you could use your adhesive Stampin' seal, but you now have that first layer there of your peony. Then you're going to put the next one into the next largest, and once again it's just going to line up with that same pattern on the bottom. And see how beautiful it's already coming together. But before we do that, I almost forgot, I want to put, well, we already glued that, I want to put a little bit of color on here, and I'm just going to use my Petal Pink ink pad, and I'm just going to take one of my blender brushes here I have. And I don't want to get really dark. I just want it to be subtle. So I'm going to just get myself a little bit of practice here. And then I just want to put a little bit of pink, which is going to be hard to do, like on video because the light is in my eyes. But I just want to get, now I'm going to put it around the bottom, but you know that's going to be inside the flower. But just put a little bit of pink on there. Okay, I'm gonna have a picture on the, and then we're gonna pop this into this flower here, but we want to put a little bit of ink on the edges here. I went to get my car, the oil changed in it, and they gave me a courtesy ride over to the mall, which was really kind of weird to be at the mall because it was like a ghost town. But I walked around with my mask on and got a Starbucks and waited for my car to be done. But the beautiful thing was there was this beautiful display of, and now we're going to put this into this next size here. And we're going to put some glue right on the edge of it, on the inside. A beautiful display of peonies. Right inside this mall at Christmas time, they had the hugest tree. I mean, this tree is as big as a skyscraper. And my first time, my daughter-in-law came to spend Christmas down with us when she was dating my son. And she sent a picture to her family when we were at the mall. And they said, oh, is that the Brumbaugh's Christmas tree? And I was like, Julianne, that tree is like 100 feet high. It was so funny. So every time we go to the mall at Christmas, I would say, oh, there's my Christmas tree. But they had a beautiful display there where the Christmas tree is, and it had peonies, and I took a photo of it. So if you go to my blog, you'll see the pretty peonies. So we're going to then put this one in here. And once again, it just matches up with that edge there. Look how easy that is. So just pull it a little bit out, put a little glue on that edge, and then just pop that piece right back down over. Okay, get your fingers there, Cindy, and then just line all your pieces up. And then we just have a little bit of that subtle petal pink around the edges. Oh, and while we're at it, now because I'm going to get a little bit messy, there it is. I'm going to get out my silicone craft pad. Mat, it's not a pad, it's a mat. If you're looking for that, online. It's the silicone craft mat. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these accent pieces. Doesn't matter if I get glue on the silicone mat. And I'm going to put that onto the pear pizzazz whenever I figure out where it goes. There, or wait, does it go on this one? Wait, this one goes on there. So this one, where does it go? Did I cut the wrong one? No, it goes there. And they're tricky. Okay, so it goes on here. So you just line up the edges. And you've got the soft seafoam contrast with the pear pizzazz. And then we're going to put a little bit of glue also on this one. Get a little glue there. I can tell I've got glue all over my fingers now. And it goes on that leaf. And I tend to think, because we went to the trouble of having this outlined, I'm thinking the leaves are supposed to go out this way so you can see them. And I noticed I did my leaves a little different on this one, which is okay because I like to do that in videos. So we're going to set that ink aside and we're going to put together the belly band around the card. Okie doke. Put this here and hopefully not lose that. So for my belly band, I used some of that gray that I cut off when I made the card. And the way I like to do a belly band is I like to put the part where it comes together on my belly band. I like to put it, the raw ends in the front where it's covered. So in the back, you see a nice streamline there. So what I'm going to do is I cut this down from 11 inches down to 10 just so I didn't have to play with it whenever I was done like cutting it off. So what I'm going to do is just fold it over. I find if I score it, it ends up being too big. So I just get, and like I said, it would be very nice if I had my bone folder here, but I do not see it. And there we go. And then I'm just going to put some adhesive here. But what I'm going to do on this one here is I'm going to use some tear and tape because I want it to really stay nice. And now, if I had opened up my Stampin' Seal Plus, it has my little take your pick tool just to get that protective covering off of there. It has a stronger adhesive, kind of like the Fast Fuse we used to carry. So now we're just going to put the first layer of our belly band there. And that's 1 1/4 inches by 10 and fold it around. So then I wanted a little contrast here. So then I put a piece of white. And once again, I did the same measurement of 10 inches long. Now, if you took glue and put all along here and glued it the whole way around here, it would buckle and it wouldn't, it needs to have some wiggle room. So what I do is I just put a little bit of adhesive on the back of it. Okay, so you can see I put a little adhesive here. And then this 1 inch, let's turn it over here so you can see. And I just put a 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom. And I just have it adhered right there in the back. And then I'm just going to fold it around. Once again, no scoring, very easy, just fold it around so that it has room to move. And then once again, I'm going to stick a little bit of tear and tape. I love my tear and tape. I'm going to put it on this side here. Get my take your pick tool. There we go. Lay that down there. Bring that around. And then, as if I didn't think that was enough, I thought I needed one more contrast, and I did one more layer. And you know what was convenient about that layer is that I had it in my craft stash. It's just one of those pieces you end up always cutting off when you're cutting a certain layer of your card. So once again, a little piece of tear and tape so it stays nice and tight for you. Pull it off with your take your pick tool there. Get that little edge off there. fold it over. All those luscious layers, the bright white and the soft petal pink and the darkness of the gray granite. So now we've built our belly band. And see, these are all your rough edges, but on the back, it's very nice and streamlined there. So the next thing I did was I was putting my white flower on there. So where are our leaves? Okay, our leaves are here. But before I put that flower on there, oh, we're missing our stamen. We need that one little piece to go in there. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue on the edge at the bottom of my stamen. And I picked So Saffron because it's our soft, subtle yellow. And I'm just going to pop that into this open area. That's why there's an open area here on the smallest die. And we're just going to pop that stamen in there. Sometimes you can't even see that in a peony. Let me pull that out a little bit. There we go. That gives that little bit of color and then lets you know. Actually, maybe that should be pulled over a little bit this way. There we go. So that's going to be our center, focal center right there. And then we're going to, but I wanted to put a little bit more pizzazz there. And so I'm putting on the square doily, this square vellum doily. And then I just lined up the circle in the middle with the middle line. And then on this side, and I'm going to put a little piece of tear and tape there. So I'm going to put that there and pull it off. And then put that vellum. And like I said, I just lined up my circle. And then I lined the two scallops right there on the edge. And then I want to pop up my flower. So what I did with my dimensionals is I stuck them right onto the doily. I put them right in the middle. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to try this trick here of getting these off. I'm not ever very good at doing this. There we go. Maybe I just have to be forceful. There you go. I've seen that done so many times. Okay, so we're going to put that flower right there in the middle of the, in the middle of the doily. Remember, this can move up and down. So you're actually looking at not the middle of the card right now, but the middle of the doily. So I'm trying to kind of put that flower in the middle of this plane of view. And then we want to put our flowers in here, our leaves in here. And like I said, I do like this pointed end, but why is this, why would we waste that pretty contrast there? So I'm just going to bring that and see here on this one, I changed up the colors there. So I want to have that contrast there. So I'm going to put my glue down on this edge and I'm going to slide it under my flower and making sure that it's staying inside the card because you got to put that into the envelope and it won't fit. There we go. Put one there and then give it a press, and it's really not adhering to your flower, it's adhering to the vellum underneath. And you've got this beautiful peony there with just a little touch of the petal pink that sets off in the designer paper, the peony garden paper, and two different looks there. Let's put this one back together here. And there we go. And then I want to put on some of these elegant faceted gems. Now, where did I put those? Really pretty colors that go beautifully with this. And I just happen to have a couple strays here. So I'm going to pull them out and see, where do I want to put a couple of these? I don't know, maybe I don't want to put any on here. Well, maybe I will. Maybe I'll just stick them. Why do we feel like we have to put... I think I'm I'm just going to put 2 right there. We always feel like we have to have a pearl or a rhinestone or some embellishment on a card, huh? So there I'm just going to put 2 little, see how pretty those are? The petal pink, it just really, oh, that faceted cut on those gems, so pretty. So you've got 2 cards here. We used petal pink on one peony, we used white on the other, we used the Peony Garden Designer Series paper, and we just did a simple gatefold. We used a 5.5 by 11, and we scored it at 1 1/4, 3 3/8, 7 5/8, and 9 3/4. Then we folded back our edges and we just put in Designer Series paper. And this Designer Series paper measurements are on my blog or underneath the YouTube description. If you have any questions, you can always text me or call me at 724-323-2296, or you can always email me at cindyleeb@gmail.com. I would love to help you with any questions you have. I love this peony bundle, this prized peony bundle. It's got a lot of potential. I just can't even believe how beautiful this bloom is. Think about stamping that big bloom. I mean, that's a big bloom. So when you consider that would go on the front of a card, how gorgeous would that be? So that's on my list of to-do lists, but now at least I have this one done. So thanks for buzzing by, friends.